Hello everybody and welcome back to Manor Lords, where we are currently working on the harvest slash plow slash plant portion here, and there's a lot needing to happen here. So this wheat field appears to be mostly sown at this point. This wheat field, we're working on it. Things are looking kind of grim over in Zawau. We're just now getting started on the plow, so that's going to take a little bit. Over in Waldbrand, things are actually looking pretty good. Like I was saying at the end of last episode, this might be a model that we want to go for going forward, where we have some of our peasants immediately starting the plow. That might be something we want to go for in other locations. Up in Selbitz, things are considerably worse. It'll take a little bit to get this all done. We're still harvesting our flax up here. That said, we did manage to get this up to a full 8 families, so it's in progress, for sure. Now, over in Newslow, I believe we got all of these set up for what they're going to be planted with next, so that is fine. The real question here is, if we pull out of this farmhouse, and we put our people down here to begin the plow, which I'm going to do, are we going to see processing of this grain into flour? I think we will, because I've seen that get moved into granaries before, so that should in theory be okay. So we're going to move all of these guys down here, and they are going to immediately start plowing by hand. Yeah, that's what they appear to be looking to do. So that is something we need to get going on immediately. No doubt about that. Now, the wheat here, there's still 14 of it, and that's... I misspoke earlier. I talked about the grain getting into flour. That's the windmill's job. The wheat being threshed into grain is what we would need. So if we need to put a family in this farmhouse later, we will. But I don't know if we will. We'll keep an eye on that. So that seems okay for now. These guys are still doing some hauling. Sure. They're going to have to start plowing out here very, very soon, though. It's going to be... We'll see how much of the plow gets done here. I think it's very clear at this point that the Waldbrand model is a decent one in terms of getting the plow completed. We are working over here in Zawau, and we'll see how far this gets. It's still October, so we've got time. We have raiders. Where? Raiders coming in the south of Newslow. Okay. This is pretty bad timing. I'm wondering how many of them, but we are going to raise up, I think, just our retinue forces. Our retinues do not work. These are essentially professional soldiers. They are not part of our militia. So I'm going to rally all of these guys up in Newslow. So they're going to arrive over here. I want them to run? Absolutely. It's going to take them a while to get there. So we're going to get going on that. That'll take some time. That is understood. Actually, these guys are heading south. They're heading towards Immenruth. Okay. So in that case, we're going to move these guys on down to Immenruth instead. We'll try to group them up somewhere around here. I have no idea if that'll be okay. These guys are already too fatigued to run, huh? Okay. Well, that's exciting. Are you running? I'd like it if you would run, but I'm not sure that they're running. These guys aren't going to run. So it's going to take some time to get these guys over here. We're trying to respond, but we'll see how that goes. This'll be an interesting one. We're trying to respond, but we're also very much trying not to harm our farm situation. So that's going to be a little bit. So Eichenau here is down to 1 food. 1 month worth of food. Now, that's not actually that big of a deal. We're almost done sowing over here, and then these guys are going to head back to the farmhouse, and they'll thresh this wheat into grain at that point, at which point the windmill can start operating, at which point the communal oven can begin operating. However, I'm going to pull a family out of the communal oven, and we are going to put that family perhaps into this apiary. No, those are actually maxed. In that case, maybe the dyer's workshop? I guess, but actually I'm going to put them back in the communal oven for now. That is going to be put to work very, very soon. So that seems okay. Are these guys running? They are. For whatever reason, these guys spawned with no fatigue. I don't know if they're supposed to do that. They are from Ica now, so they're kind of close. But we'll see. But like I said, I do not want to bring up our militias if we can help it, because we really need our people to be working on the fields right now. That is of vital importance. So we're going to try to just use our retinues to hold these lines. It's going to be potentially expensive, but we do have some cash. Now, we don't know where the raiders are right now. They spawned like here and they're heading southward, so we'll see. Maybe these guys spot them. But we've got forces on the way. It is going to take some time for many of these forces to arrive. So that's okay. We're going to cruise forward here. Okay, so they're here right now. That is noted. So I see 3 units currently. There's a 4th unit. In theory, we should be able to handle this. Emphasis on in theory. The question is, can we get here in time? We're trying to get here, right? And that is understood. But we're a ways away with all of our units here, and our units are going to be pretty spread out. We're coming in from multiple directions. And we'll see what this looks like. Our units are going to be trickling in piecemeal. This timing is really not great for us because we really need to get this plow underway. In fact, we've been heavily working on the plow. This is not harvested. Get out here and harvest, guys. Okay, enemy units are spotted. Yes, I'm aware of this. And they are currently passing our rally point here. So we're going to need to have these guys move up over here. It looks like they're responding to these at this point. I'm wondering if we can kite them up over here to get some extra time. Yeah, they're definitely coming towards us here. So if we can head this way, we can reinforce with these units and have 48 total. They have 5 times 18, which is a significant numerical advantage, but they are just brigands. And we've got these guys on the way up, and we've got these guys on the way in as well. So we've got another set of 48 retinue members on their way. For now, I want to get these guys grouped together and buy some time for our additional reinforcements to make their way in. So I'm currently thinking that these should group up back here or so. And these guys, they're just going to continue heading in. So that sounds good, in theory. The fact that they're not running at our village right now makes me happy. That alone is good. So we should be threshing this grain at this point, or getting ready to. I want to check in on the status on this field up here, though, because this field needs to be fallow. Yield of 0 of 12. Okay, let's just burn the rest of this field and set it to fallow. There we go. And the game froze for a moment there. That must be a save. Yeah. Understood. So they are currently hiding in the trees. We're working on regenerating some fatigue here, and we'll see where they end up popping out, which they probably will soon. These guys are on their way in, and we're going to bring them in about here or so. But yeah, we're just regenerating fatigue for the moment. Where are those brigands? They were heading towards us. They're going to pop out here. Yep, there they are. Okay. Hold position for now. Noted. So we're going to have these guys probably be on stand your ground, because they're going to be waiting for these reinforcements that are here to come in. And we're going to ambush them from the trees here. So we're going to bring these guys in. And we're just standing our ground here. Defense is doubled. but attack frequency is halved. We just want to hold position until the reinforcements arrive, which will be quite soon. Okay, so we are now fighting, and they're trying to flank up over this way, I see, but that seems relatively fine. Okay, I want these guys to push forward, and I want them to get in here. So we've definitely taken some losses here, but I think these two would probably be sufficient to hold this. That seems relatively okay. So checking in up at Selbitz, we're going to be hauling some resources here for a bit. That's fine. We're still plowing here, and we're plowing here. It's still October, so we're going to get at least some of these fields done. That looks good. These fields over here are being sown. So these guys, I'm wondering if they're going to come up and help over here. They might. This field is currently 92 plowed. Yeah, that looks reasonable. We're making very good progress up in Waldbrand. So that sounds great. Now, over here, we actually won. Okay, that's fine. So we didn't need these lads. We're going to send them back to Zawau. It's better to be safe than sorry. So these guys are going to go back to Eichenau, and then these guys are going to go to Waldbrand, and then these guys are going to go to Nuslo. Cool. So there's that all dealt with. We are going to have to pay to replenish some of our retinue forces, but that's understood. These guys are going to be disbanded. These are going to be disbanded as soon as we get there. There we go. Now these guys are going to get disbanded, and off they head. And these guys, they're going to take a little while to get home. That's understood. So this is 19. We're going to need to reinforce this up to 24. There we go. And this is at 21. So we're going to do the same thing, reinforcing that up to 24. That cost us a little bit, but nothing too significant. So that is excellent. We're going to cruise forward on speed 12, and we're just waiting for these guys to return on home. Excellent. We can see that we have a plow going on here with an ox. I'm not sure what's going on here. Ah, that's an ox as well. Okay. And it's using a really awkward path. Perhaps the most awkward of paths. Okay. Well, we'll see if that actually does anything. I'm not convinced. And let's hop over to see how things are looking in Nuslo. We're definitely making progress in Nuslo. Winter is approaching. Yes, I'm aware. It is almost November. Progress is being made in Selbitz as well. We should be able to, I think, get this fully plowed. I hope. That would be nice. Maybe I wish. I do want to hop over to Immenruth here, because I want to check to see, yeah, we've got this stonecutter camp. I want one person in the stonecutter camp. I want one person in this mining pit, and one person in this mining pit for right now. Then we could put in potentially some other things like a bloomery or a clay furnace. I don't think it's super necessary right now. We're just going to run it something like this. And I'd like to find a job for this person. So the question is, what do we want that to be? We've already got 2 in the trading post. And we've got 1 in the livestock trading post, and I don't think we need that at this point. So I think what we're going to do instead is we're going to expand the living space here. Expand the living space here. And we're going to start thinking about getting upgrades here. So this is additional food types. Yeah, that makes sense. We will have the food types that we need. The question is, do we have anything that counts for that right now? And I think the answer to that is no. So we're just going to leave this be for now. I'm not going to set up any agriculture here just yet. We'll get there. Okay, so our first priority here is getting the wheat going. And we pulled family members out of a lot of these locations to pitch in. So we're going to put those back as soon as we're done here. But we're at 2 family members right now. Let's put 1 person into the windmill. Although we don't actually have any grain yet, we will have that fairly soon. We're going to have these barley fields. These are high priority barley fields. Okay. Yeah, not necessarily what we're looking for. I'm going to move this down to medium priority. The flax field should absolutely be at low priority. Let's just get done with this and get started on those wheat fields for now. We'll see if we manage to get this whole plow done. I'm not really holding my breath. I really don't think we're going to get all of this plowed. That would be remarkable if we did. We're not really focusing on fields. It's very spread out, and that's maybe something we want to change. But these fields, these might get plowed before the end of fall here. We'll see. We're going to, at the very least, get a bunch of them done, and that is a good sign. We're going to have some progress anyway. So this field is getting plowed, and now we're sowing it. And it is now sown, or almost sown. 99% sown. Okay, now it's sown. Okay, so that's looking good. This field is getting plowed. Now it's being sown. So this is looking good. 94%. And they're all charging off. I'm not sure why that is, but I think we have more people coming in over here, presumably. Okay, this is at 94%, that's good enough. So they are apparently charging off to help out up over here. That is good to know that that behavior does that. They're transporting and going for a drink. I'm not sure exactly what they're transporting, but they're working on something. So that seems fine. 94% is sown enough, in theory, but I would very much like it if they continue working on that. Out over here, we did manage to get 4 fields fully plowed, and this one is fully sown. This one's almost sown. So this is good progress, for sure, but we're not going to get this all done before winter. Royal taxes increased. You know what that means. It's December. So we managed to get this one 30% sown, this one 26% sown, this one 96%. We definitely need more work out over here. I think that's very clear. So potentially another farmhouse. That's something to think about. Out over in Selbitz, how did we do? These are all fully sown. We managed to get this field plowed and 33% sown. Okay, we're going to pull most of our families out of the farmhouse here, and I'm going to put a family in the saw pit, a family in the forester's hut, a family in the communal oven, and we're going to put a second family in this apiary and in this apiary. I would like to expand this storehouse, and then I'm going to put a family in the granary, something like that. So are we still sowing? Hang on. No, looks like we're done. Good to know. So let's check in on how Waldbrand did. This is all fully sown down here. Up over this way, this all got fully plowed, remarkably. And fully sown. Waldbrand finished. Barely, but it finished. That is indicative of a really good thing. Okay, I like it. Out over here, we did not get this field fully plowed, and this one did not get fully sown either. So I think this is clear that we need additional families here. Actually, there was only 6 assigned. We could assign 2 more families, and we should do that. These guys, they can head home at this point. We don't need them to be up, and that seems fine. Okay, so that is definitely an improvement in terms of how we did on farming. It's an improvement. It's not perfect. I think what we need here is a bit of a generic farmhouse that is not assigned to any of these locations, and throw more families at it if we're not going to have oxen help out with the plow. We could have the heavy plow. We would need to get 3 level 3 burgage plots upgraded. We could check into that. We're lacking food and clothing stalls here. This one could get upgraded, but that would be a level 2. So that's not really what we're looking for. We're looking to upgrade level 3 burgages, right? So that would be like this one over here. We can do that one. That one actually works. So we're going to get that going, and we need additionally 2 more. This one can go. So we'll get that upgraded. Excellent. And then we're going to need an additional level 3 burgage. So we've got, these are level 2s over here. Can these get upgraded? We're lacking a clothing stall supply in both of those. Okay, there's some level 2s down over here. Let's check in on those. That's a negative on all of those. We're lacking clothing stall supply for every single one of them. So that is definitely noted. I'm interested in finding a burgage plot that has a backyard spot and can be upgraded, because I would like to, I think, get ourselves a second tailor. We could go for something like this. There's a chicken coop there right now. That's understood. Alternatively, we could go for one... This doesn't have a backyard. Remarkable. Okay. I would have thought that that would have a backyard, but nope, it does not. Sure. Well, we're going to need additional burgages anyway if we want to have another farmhouse, right? We need 8 additional families for that. So let's just look at getting ourselves some burgages out over here. How many is this going to be? That's 6? You know what? That'll do. We'll put 6 in there. And then there's going to be 1 or 2, approximately, that are like this. Yeah, this'll do. That'll get us our 8 burgages here. So that looks good, and then we're going to look to put in an additional farmhouse, because I think we just need more labor, and I'd like this to be fairly centrally located. Strangely, perhaps about here. And they are going to have universal work, and they're just going to, well, they're going to pitch in where they're needed, is the answer. They're going to pitch in where they're needed. Actually, hang on. We don't need another farmhouse. We can just populate all of our existing farmhouses. That's fine. So that's not actually a concern. As expected, they are hauling the wheat off. Is that going to the granary? No, it might be... Yeah, it's being hauled to this farmhouse. That's what they were transporting. So that seems fine. So they're going to be doing threshing. This did not get fully done, but just having more families to throw at it, particularly to throw at the plow, should be good. So that seems okay. That seems absolutely fine in theory. We almost got done up here. We would have if we had had 8 families on it, so I'm confident that this is okay. This might be a little less okay. We'll see what that ends up looking like, but for now, I'm reasonably happy with how all of that played out. This, I feel like we definitely could use a little bit more manpower, but I think the bigger ultimate problem here is honestly our livestock. We've only got the 1 ox here, and we may want to bring in another one. How are we doing on that? We've got lots of stable space. So we could go to our small stable here, and we can order an ox. So that will help out up here. And I think that alone will probably do the trick. So that seems fine. We've got that improvement going on. Now, over in Eikenau, we do need to get some of these upgraded. So what do we got right now? We've got no food. Well, that is definitely something we're working on. We're getting some flour here. The oven is baking, so this shouldn't be a problem for too much longer. The question is, how much flour are we actually getting out of these fields? And, I mean, that's going to be 75. That's not a terrible amount. Yeah, it's not awful. We may want to consider bringing a road up through here if we can fit one. We cannot. I would like to fit one straight through here, but alas, that's not a thing. So that's fine, I guess. I'd like to connect a road out this way. I guess we'll have to do it here. So that's going to end up coming out this direction, like so. It's going to be kind of a little bit windy, but that's absolutely understood. And then it's just going to come down like this. There we go. And then this area out over here, I'm planning to expand our farmland to. So what that means is we're going to be looking for... Can we be in Eikenau, please? There we go. What that ends up meaning is we're going to be looking for some fields out over here. Fertility is not going to be great. So we're going to be looking for about 1 field here. It's going to be a kind of small one. And then a second field about here or so. Again, kind of a small one. And then a third field that comes down over here, and it's going to be... I don't necessarily love that. It's going to be something kind of like this. And then a fourth field that covers some of this area and is maybe a little bit on the larger side. About like that. Now, those are going to be fallow this year, and we're going to swap between these two. It's going to be kind of awkward, but that's just where our fertility is, or what fertility we have, anyway. So that's fine. We've only got a few families working on the farmhouse right now. We should probably bump that up, and that seems okay. Now, it is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we're going to go through this winter, and I believe next season we are likely to go campaigning. We've got 2.4k influence, so I think we'll probably go after Goldhoff next season. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Atala, Andy McGar, Ali Lee, Dark Horse, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Tommy Kintogan, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video. And as always, I will see you all next time.